All right, we are back grading another one of your Dynasty trades.
Another one, baby.
You might ask, how do I get my Dynasty trade to be considered for this series? Well,
Yeah,
pretty easy.
super simple.
In the
super
description,
easy.
in the description below, there is a link to our Discord. If you join our Discord, there's a text channel that says Dynasty Trades, and anytime you submit a Dynasty trade there, you're officially considered for this series.
Correct.
We have 2 trades that we're gonna talk about today, and the first one is a blockbuster. Okay. Shout out to Gooseface Killer for submitting this trade. Okay, this is a blockbuster. You're gonna see this on the screen right now.
Yeah, it's kind of
I
crazy.
wish, Badaki, I could see the screenshots from the chat after this trade was finalized. You know what I mean? Like, I wish I could see the chat going
100%.
back and forth on this one. But you can see Team A gets Jamar Chase, Christian McCaffrey. Team B gets DJ Moore, Deontay Johnson, Antonio Gibson. In 2022, they get the 204, the 205. In 2023, they get a first and a second. In 2024, they also get a second.
Sheesh.
I mean, my God. Define blockbuster. And you'll see this. Who won the trade, Badaki? Let's talk about it. Who won the trade?
This is tough, okay? Let's go to team... Okay, Team B won this trade, and I know that sounds crazy, but it just makes sense. Yes, Team A got Jamar Chase. Arguably, he is the 101 in a dynasty wide receiver. Absolutely, I get it. And then he got CMC, who I guess you could say in the top 5 in running backs in a dynasty perspective. I know redraft he could 1A, 1B. But let's not forget where Christian McCaffrey is. Well, he's going to be 26 years old, or he's already 26 years old. He has 2 injuries back to back, and he's going to that decline. You know, he's on that turn for the RBs. Okay, so and I think this is why Team B won, because of how much they got. Yes, as much as I may not believe in everyone here, but what he got is fantastic. DJ Moore just signed a 3-year contract extension, who's hopefully going to get a quarterback in this draft.
He's only 24 years old.
24, yeah. He just got a contract extension. Hopefully get a quarterback. Deontay Johnson, the same thing, a young wide receiver that I believe in, that I like, who's also going to get a quarterback, at least the expectation is. Antonio Gibson. We just had a video released about him, about you can either hold, sell, or, hold or sell, and the value is still going to be okay. You're going to get some good value. And then the picks. Yeah. As much as we say we don't like this draft, this rookie class coming in, the second round got some value,
205, bro. There's some value there.
There's some value there, okay? I mean, these are some people you can get. Jerome Ford, a Trey McBride, a Sky Moore, depending on how your draft falls, a Christian Watson, depending on how your draft falls. It just really all depends.
David Bell is probably more realistic there, but yeah.
David Bell. And then you get 2 first-round picks in the 2023 and the 2024 and the 2023 second. This is just too much value here. And this is why, because if you don't believe in half of these guys, for example, he's like, hey, you want DJ Moore? Sure. Well, I don't really believe in him, but let me flip him for another first.
Yeah, for sure.
Let me flip Antonio Gibson for another first. You're chilling, man. I think this is fantastic for Team B, but Jamar Chase, that's tough to compete with as well.
Yeah, I went back and forth on this for ages because I've always viewed Jamar Chase as an untouchable asset. But at the end of the day, I do think there is too much value on the Team B side to pass up. I mean, the pure volume of dynasty assets is incredible. And I like that you highlighted CMC, because I was going to say the same thing. While I think he's my RB5 in dynasty right now, but he's not a tier 1 guy. CMC is not a tier 1 dynasty running back. He's just not. Okay. I mean, you put guys like Jonathan Taylor, Javonte, Najee, and Swift. In my opinion, those are the tier 1 guys in dynasty.
Yeah.
CMC is almost 26, 2 months away from it. He's already into his second contract. He's going to be 30 when he's a free agent next. You only get one big contract as an elite running back. And I don't know. It's just, I don't view CMC. Honestly, Badaki, I said to myself, okay, how do I justify this for Team A? Well, you get Jamar Chase. You get the best player for sure. But if you put Jamar Chase and Jonathan Taylor there, then I'm like, okay, this is pretty much an even trade. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
But CMC there's not enough value there to justify selling my entire future. And by the way, DJ Moore, you could flip for a first and a second, maybe 2 firsts. Same for Deontay. I know Antonio Gibson's going to give you another first. So in reality, we could be seeing about 6 to 7 first round picks, essentially. And at the end of the day, I don't fully understand it either. I mean, I guess you're a win now team. Jamar Chase is the 101, but I don't think that this is the right move for Team A. I don't think it makes sense to sell this much. And honestly, I just think that if Jamar Chase is if he costs this, then you shouldn't be buying him right now. Like, I think this is the wrong move for your long-term future. Like, if this is his price tag, then it is the wrong time to go buy him. And maybe the right time is next year if he has a down year or something. But right now it's the wrong time to buy it. But again, like I said, I mean, I tried to justify this for Team A. If that was Jonathan Taylor and Jamar Chase, then I think it's a different conversation. But CMC, I don't view him as this tier 1 running back. And secondly, the last thing I was going to say on this, and probably the biggest reason why I'm on the Team B side, is just from a pure overall team building perspective. Okay. I'm really curious to see what Team A looks like at the moment. I mean, are they just completely stacked on young talent? Because they've pretty much given up their entire future for 2 players. Whereas Team B, I mean, you can build a future, like really good picks for a long time. So for me, I am Team B here, even though I do view Jamar Chase as untouchable. If anything, this says to me, if I don't have Chase, I'm not going to try and get him because it doesn't make sense for my team. Because Jamar Chase might be worth that, but it doesn't make sense for your team construction. It just doesn't make sense for your future. It doesn't make sense.
I mean, I guess the way Team A can kind of make up for it is trying to sell a CMC for a mid to high first in 2023. But I think that's going to be hard to come by. Yeah, but still, that's going to be like, well,
it just doesn't make sense.
It wouldn't make sense exactly. I think that's maybe another way that he can compensate himself back, saying, well, maybe I gave too much. But
again, these are just our opinions, by the way. Like, you guys could see it differently, but I just think we're giving up too much. I mean, like, I guess there's another position where Team A might have so much draft capital that they don't even see this as a hit, right? I mean, maybe they're that team that has 5 first-round picks in 2023, and they're like, I don't care. Like, I want to get elite talent, but I think there's a cheaper way to get Jamar still. I don't think he should cost that much.
Another thing one last thing is people don't see the value in 2024 right now.
And there's value there. Yeah.
We just don't know who's there right now. Like, you don't have the names in your head. At the end of 2022 or at the beginning of 2022, we're already thinking about 2023 draft class. That's why everyone's stacking on it. People know at least a handful of names, The
2024 class is going to be great. It is.
You see? And like, you probably don't even know names. Maybe you do know names, and you're like, well, let me just give away my 2024 class, my 2024 first round, just because I don't know some names. You gotta hold on to it. It's
the Rams philosophy. I'll F them picks. We'll deal with it later. Look, we'll give grades. Team A, I gave a C+. It's not because I don't value Chase this way, but more because I think it hurts your team as a whole. Unless, of course, you do have this treasure chest of picks that you can just play around with. Team B, I gave an A. I didn't want to give like an A+ because you are still losing Jamar Chase. Like, it makes sense. Not a good thing.
For me, Team A got a B- and Team B got an A. That makes sense to me. Okay. You did give up a lot, but you did get Jamar Chase, and maybe you can try to flip Jamar Chase the way Team B just flipped him. So
yeah. All right. The second trade we're looking at, shout out to Albino Samoan. Shout out. I wonder if you're from Samoa. That's pretty awesome. We're living in Sydney right now. All right. Your trade is on the screen right now. Obviously, we're not saying which side is which, but Team A got Chris Carson, Pat Fryermuth, the 106 and the 108 in this year's rookie drafts. Team B got Devontae Adams, Mike Gesicki, the 208, and the 408. And the reason I really wanted to show this trade is because I think that this is a great example of selling Devontae Adams at the right time for the right price. So in my eyes, I'll start. I do think that Team A won this trade. Maybe Team B is in a win now window and Adams is the missing piece, and I can understand that. But from my perspective, unless you are a win now team, it doesn't make sense to have Devontae Adams. It really doesn't make sense for your future. So let's talk about this. Number one, you are getting Packers Devontae Adams return in this trade. But there is no longer a Packers Devontae Adams. Okay, he's no longer connected to Aaron Rodgers. I believe he's going to be top 5 in scoring. However, I don't think there is wide receiver 1 potential there anymore. I know that sounds crazy, but think about it. In Green Bay, hyper targeted, it was only Adams. I mean, who else was getting targets there? Robert Tonyan? No. Now you go to Las Vegas, right? Maybe the 1 or 2 times that Aaron Rodgers threw to them per game. Now you go to Las Vegas, it's Darren Waller.
Yeah.
It's
Hunter
Devontae
Renfro.
Adams is there. Hunter Renfro. Don't get me wrong. Like, Adams by far will be the most targeted in this offense, but there are legit weapons in this offense. And at some point, your team is better when you do spread the ball out a little bit more. So if Adams has the season that I expect him to have, I don't think that you could get this value for him next year. And again, I still think he's going to be great. But here's how I want to throw the thought process out, okay?
Okay.
I am thinking of a Stephon Diggs 2020 to 2021 type of dip here for Devontae Adams, okay? Diggs was elite in 2020, and he was still very good in 2021. However, he was not the top wide receiver elite, and his return is current. Like, Diggs right now, what you could get him for him in the trade market is way less than what you could get for him last offseason. So, and just some numbers, I mean, Diggs went from the wide receiver 3 to the 7. He went from number 1 in targets to 5th. So that's the kind of season I think we could see, the kind of dip we could see for Adams. So, and he's also going to be 30 this season, which means next season he'll be 31. I like this wide receiver class as well. So the 106 and the 108, I think you can get really good value. I mean, that's Jameson Williams, maybe Chris Olave, George Pickens, maybe it's a Kenneth Walker there. So for me, again, the only way that you would trade for Adams is if you're a win now team, so I can see the validity in it. But I think that this is the right time to sell Adams, and I think he got a good value for it. And by the way, the tight end up tier for Pat Freiermuth is pretty nice. I mean, that's a low-key nice move.
I agree.
So I am on board with Team A. What about you?
Yeah, I'm on board with Team A as well. I think it just makes sense to me.
We need to find a trade where we disagree.
Yeah, I mean, we found trades, I think.
That's true.
You hit the nail on the head, though.
I'm like, damn, I like it when we disagree.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. I think Devontae Adams, he's no longer the Green Bay Packers Devontae Adams. I think what the downfall is for me is the Mike Gesicki trade. What really dropped it all for me. It just doesn't make sense to me because the Tyreek Hill came. I think the thought process is that now he's going to be losing targets. I think he'll be more of a tight end dependent tight end. Touchdown dependent tight end, excuse me. So I think that can change. We just don't know yet. We really don't know. And the value that you can get at the 106 and the 108 for Team A is just fantastic. Yeah, you lose Devontae Adams, but you can get an Olave, a George Pickens, depending on where these goes. And you can get the replacement of Devontae Adams at the 106 or the 108. Once again, it all depends on how your draft goes. But it just makes sense. And like Zach said, Pat the Dragon Freiermuth is fantastic. I think he finished tight end 8 this past year, if I'm not mistaken. But
I think it was close to top 12. There's a lot of upside there.
There's a lot of upside there. He was hyper targeted, I feel like, at times until
in the red zone.
Exactly, in the red zone. Sorry, he was tight end 13. But I mean, starting from there, I think it gets higher and higher, in my opinion. So I completely agree. with the take.
All right, let's give some grades for this trade. Team A, I gave an A-. Team B, I gave a C+. Unless it's a win now team and you end up winning it all this season, then it won't really matter.
Yeah.
I still think it's the wrong time to trade for Adams. Like, I've said this about Cooper Kupp as well. I feel like the right time to trade for these guys is going to be mid-season when maybe they're like Stephon Diggs started the year weeks 1 to 5. He was a wide receiver 25. And that was a great buy low period. And I think, if you're a win now team, then guys like Adams and even Diggs and Cooper Kupp and Debo, like these are guys that you probably shouldn't be buying right now because their values are too high at this point.
Yeah, I agree. Team A, B+, and Team B, I gave him a C-. I know you're getting Devontae Adams, but you really got nothing else in return, and you gave up too much, it feels like. So those are my grades.
Alrighty, and let's be honest, Chris Carson is nothing at this point. So
who knows? Give it to Chris.
R.I.P. All right, let us know what you think in the comments below.
Yo, what's good?
What
Thanks
up?
for watching. We got a lot more videos.
A lot more.
If you want more videos.
Watch
Now,
it.
You can also subscribe
Right now.
if you want to.
You need to.
And lastly, don't forget that you can sign up to support the show and get exclusive content by going to patreon.com/Fantasyland Fam.